Welcome to the Gavel. I'm Linda Akibe. Last Sunday, July 13th, marked the 90th day when over 200 schoolgirls were abducted by Boko Haram in Chibok, Borno State. Now, the Bring Back Our Girls campaign group has been at the forefront of protests for the release of the schoolgirls, and they met with the leadership of the House and the Senate during the week to put more pressure on the leadership to ensure that they do all they can to see that the girls are rescued.
It's been nearly 3 months since the abduction of over 200 girls from a government secondary school in Chibok, in Borno State. After the girls were abducted, the Bring Back Our Girls campaign started, holding sit-outs and protests across the country. More than 2 months ago, the campaign group in Abuja met with the House of Representatives over efforts to secure the release of the girls. And today, they are back to get an update and a reassurance that something concrete is being done.
What are we asking for?
The truth, nothing but the truth. We are faced with a lot of conflicting signals from the various voices that can speak on this issue. So we really want to know, are we hopeful on any specific option that is being taken, or are we still in a land of analyzing which option may be appropriate? And because it is 92 days and we know what it could mean for young women to be captive of, okay, you know, they are captive of the kinds of people that you don't want your daughter to be found proximate to. We're worried about what that means for 219 daughters of Nigeria. Honorable Speaker, in the course of this advocacy, this citizens group has been labeled all kinds of things. It is totally uncalled for. It is wrong. It is unfair. The reason that this group decided to stand resolute with the Chibok girls is that we said, never again shall we just move on. You recall that in the Boni Yadi incident, that incident in Boni Yadi, boys were killed, girls were abducted. Up until today, we simply all moved on. There's absolutely no kind of information on what happened. We don't want to move on concerning 219 Nigerian girls. That's the singularity of purpose that we have, that these girls must be brought back alive. Now,
this matter cannot disappear like so many other matters that have disappeared. These children are our children, they are our sisters. Unfortunately, most unfortunately, government seems to see something sinister. And yet we're an open group. People come in, sit with us and go. They listen to us, they contribute. We have no reason to work against any government that is. We're only asking our government to be accountable to us. And the Constitution grants us that right to assemble peacefully. We've been attacked, our chairs broken. We're accused of being a franchise, whatever that may mean. We're told that we're going to simulate somewhere in Abuja. I don't know what Sambisa Forest looks like. So I don't know how I can even imagine somewhere else in Abuja like that. I mean, the whole thing is becoming absurd. Just because we have stood up to say, never again, these girls must be found, they must be brought back. We can't forget that.
While assuring the campaigners that efforts are on to secure the girls' release, the Speaker of the House of Representatives said government must negotiate with the insurgents if that is the option to bring the girls back.
If negotiations is what will bring back, for example, Chibok girls, for goodness sake, let's negotiate and save the children. Negotiations is not submitting. You are not just submitting. You are not. It's a strategy. So let's get these girls out, and then if you want to confront them, you go ahead and confront them and take them head on. But whatever we need to do, we must do as a government to bring back these girls safely and alive.
Mr. Tambal said the government is faced with such insurgents for the first time with a security that is ill-prepared for the challenge, but urged the campaigners not to relent in their efforts to constantly bring pending issues before the authorities and demand accountability.
The Senate during the week confirmed the Corps Marshal of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Mr. Osita Chidoka, and a lecturer at the University of Abuja, Dr. Abubakar Suleiman, as ministers. President Goodluck Jonathan had forwarded the names of the 2 ministerial nominees for the Senate for screening and confirmation. Federal lawmakers grilled the 2 nominees on issues relating to aviation, security and infrastructure. Ministerial screenings have dominated legislative proceedings in the Senate for the past 2 weeks. Last week, the Senate screened and confirmed former Kano State Governor Ibrahim Shekarau and 3 others. On Wednesday, the Senate also screened Federal Road Safety Boss Osita Chidoka and a lecturer at the University of Abuja, Dr. Abubakar Suleiman. The FRSC boss was grilled first. Lawmakers took him up on the state of road and aviation infrastructure in the country.
You are the Corps Marshal. And I suppose by virtue of that, you're very familiar with the state of our roads all over the Federation. And you do know that they are not in the best of states. And one of the reasons is the traffic thereon, the heaviness of the traffic, particularly the haulage traffic. You know that we don't, or that our roads cannot take the amount of haulage traffic that we do have from the ports, from all over. If you are made the Minister for Transport, what will be your policy, or what will you offer as a solution in the short term and in the long term to make sure that our roads are kept in the best of states and there are alternatives to road haulage?
If you look at our roads, in between the year 1999 and 2010, our total budget for the industry was 720 billion. The state of Israel budgets about $5 billion annually for roads in that small enclave called Israel. So one of the things that we should do as a nation is to make it possible for private capital to come into Nigeria in a manner that it is secured and in a manner that will make it possible for Nigerians to get the benefits of a world-class infrastructure, but at a cost. It goes back to the issues we raised about the quality of our what people pay for services rendered in Nigeria.
If appointed as a minister, how would you collaborate with both government and private sector?
That's a very major issue amongst government agencies. But for us in FRSC, we took a decision. We will not do anything without finding the relevant agency that is involved. And I'll give you some specific examples. When we decided we wanted to have VSATs across all our commands to have internet facility, we went to Galaxy Backbone. And we found out that the National Assembly had appropriated money for 5,000 VSATs in the country. And these VSATs belong to Galaxy Backbone. So we got the 375 VSATs free of charge. The only thing we pay for is the bandwidth. The same thing with the software, the Microsoft software and Oracle software we are using in our driver's license. We bought it under a global license. Under the regime of President Obasanjo, Nigeria has signed an agreement with Oracle, with Microsoft, to give us at discounted rates softwares for use. So the current Microsoft software running in FRSC, we got it free of charge from NIDA. The current Oracle powering our driver's license, we paid Nigeria, the contractors had to pay the Nigerian price, which is about 25% less than what they charge globally. So there is a lot of room for collaboration of government agencies. We cannot have an oasis of each agency doing what they are doing. In our driver's license, we put the issue of biometrics in the license, only because the national identity card is not yet on stream. When the national identity card gets on stream, we will stop capturing biometrics. The only biometrics you need is to put your fingerprint and import your data from your national ID card system. So all the data we are collecting on the biometrics of the driver's license, we are sending it back to the National Identity Management System. Our system have two hurdles. At the end of the first 5 years, if the national identity is up and running, we remove our biometrics capture. If it's not, we do it for under 5 years. But I believe that if the national ID card works very hard, in the next 5 years, we will be able to do it. But in doing that collaboration, we have extended it also to the private sector. Before now, everybody who has a car in Nigeria will buy make a worker pass insurance. You just stay by the VIO office and buy an insurance. It's not covered by anybody. But today, we agreed with the insurance industry that all the validly issued insurance must be captured in a database. So